Hey, Kaiser here with another video. Road bikes, gravel bikes, and mountain bikes. All these bikes can use tubeless technology to seal up a puncture automatically using a liquid called sealant. You need tubeless ready wheels, tires, tape, and sealant in order to go tubeless. In the cycling world, being tubeless is considered an upgrade, excluding the initial setup. However, after being tubeless for a year, I have 5 things about being tubeless that I vaguely hate. So sit back and enjoy. The very first thing is when you get a puncture without realizing. The puncture sealed itself and you can keep riding, so that's awesome, right? Not always. Since you didn't notice, your tire pressure may be lower without you realizing. In these cases, you suddenly get slower even though you're pedaling at unsustainable power. And you think, what the heck is happening? However, if you're like me and know you're a weak rider, then the first thought is, wow, I'm already out of gas. That's kind of embarrassing. But then I get home and realize that I've been riding at half the tire pressure. The second con is when sealant sprays out from your tires and sprays all over your bike frame and you. Remember that sealant is pretty much glue, so dirt and dust stick all over your frame. Getting all this gunk off your frame, wheels, and tires is one big hassle. Especially the frame that you don't want to damage and scratch up. I've spent 15 minutes just rubbing one spot with a towel before. Third on the list is when the hole in your tire is too big. In these cases, sealant nor bacon strips will be able to seal it up. Shit. Now we gotta downgrade back to tubes? When using a tube, what happens to all the sealant that you might have put in this morning? Yep, you dump it all. Even if it was this morning. Even if it was used for one warm-up lap. I mean, you can leave it, it just becomes really messy afterwards. And so having to dump it all is wasteful, expensive, and potentially really bad for the environment. Fourth is when you store your bike at home. Instead of just placing it down normally, you have to think about where your valve stem is. If the valve isn't at the bottom, the next time you try to fill up your tires, sealant might drip out of the valve. Just this isn't too big of an issue, until that sealant hardens on the valve. Continue doing it and it becomes a hassle to open just your valve stem. I mean, I have to use pliers for my mountain bike. The last issue is that sealant needs replacement. Since it is a liquid, it eventually evaporates or hardens inside your tires. Therefore, every 6 months or so, you have to refill your sealant. But this is for people who ride a lot in a week. If you're like me and don't ride that much, the sealant inside is likely to harden a lot faster since it's just not being moved. Especially if you have multiple bikes like me. Therefore, you have to remember to sometimes spin the tires a few times to move that sealant around at home. It is a hassle and annoying, but better than buying more sealant and having to fill up your tires again. And so that was my 5 vaguely annoying things about being tubeless that I dislike. But in the end, being tubeless is definitely more reassuring, so I definitely do recommend it. I just wanted to let you know that it ain't all positives. Let me know if you have anything you don't like about being tubeless in the comments. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video.